all my meetings are recorded, and then you get a copy of this file at a later date. Now, or rather tomorrow morning, a later date. Let's see. If you want to minimize that go to meeting panel, up near the X, do you see two little arrows that come together?
Yeah.
If you click on that, go ahead and click on that. That's like a toggle switch. And
okay.
it minimizes it so that it doesn't take up so much of your desktop.
Okay.
Now, I've been working with a lot of Algebra 2 students, and everybody's doing logs. I presume that that's what your test was on today?
My quiz, yes.
How'd you do on it? Did you think you did good?
No.
No? Well, we should have had this session yesterday, I guess.
I know.
You might want to think about that in the future instead of, if you're going to have a Thursday quiz, you might want to reschedule your appointment to not be on Thursday. So that we have time to put in a little time on it before you take your test. You did indicate that there was one question you wanted to talk to me about?
There's just this worksheet that is basically what we worked on a couple weeks ago. She just said it was review, I think.
Okay. I noticed that what you and I worked on last week was graphing transformations of log functions.
Actually, the first week.
Okay.
The word problems.
Okay. But what I was particularly struck by was that we weren't doing the simple log questions. In other words, we didn't get around to answering this. What's the log base 10 of 100 equal to?
10?
2.
2? I have no idea.
Well, then we need to go back to the beginning and start with logs from the beginning. One thing that I did notice at our last session was that's not the important part of logs at all. I saw all kinds of questions on the previous page that I wanted to talk to you about to make sure you knew how to do those, but your teacher had specifically assigned you 68 through 75, which were specific log questions, but that's not the crux of logs. The crux of logs, let's start with this.
1 second, my computer just put up a weird thing. Hey, Dad? Dad, why does it say it's going to restart in 5 minutes?
That's not good.
Yeah.
Can you change it?
I don't know.
It's going to shut down in 9 minutes because it's updating the program. So
can I stop it?
Anyway, you can stop that and have it do it 30 minutes from now?
Nope. There's no snooze option.
Okay.
It only says restart or hide.
Okay. Maybe it'll restart, but maybe it won't if you're in the middle of a program running, which you are. You're running GoToMeeting. So we won't worry about that. And if I lose contact with you, then we'll just meet next week, Thursday at the same time as normal.
Okay.
At your mom's house. Okay?
Okay.
But let's talk about this as long as we have some time. This is an exponential expression. It's not an algebraic expression. You cannot solve this using algebra. When you're dealing with exponential equations, the only way to solve them is to convert them to logarithmic expressions. Well, do you know how to convert the expression that I've written there to a logarithmic expression?
I don't believe I've learned how. Wouldn't it just be log of x, like
Okay.
base x?
Here's one thing there's only one thing you have to remember. Logs are exponents. If logs are exponents, then the exponent has to be on the other side of that equal sign. Okay? Now where does the b go and where does the y go?
Log base.
Yeah, the b always goes there, which leaves that for the y. And an example of this might be 8 equals 2 cubed. Okay, there's the exponential expression. And
Okay.
tell me how to write that logarithmically.
Log base 2 to the 8th
Of 8.
of 8 equals 3.
Okay, so these two expressions are the same. They mean exactly the same thing. Okay, so every exponential equation can be expressed as a logarithmic equation. And then we can use the rules of logs in order to solve them or do whatever we need to do with them. Now, you need to be able to go both ways here. In other words, what I've done is written the logarithmic expression of an exponential expression, but you want to be able to go the other way also. In other words, if I were to have given you that, to put it back into an exponential expression, one technique that I always use is the number on the far left, that 2, raised to the power of whatever's on the far right equals whatever's in the middle. So it would be 2 cubed equals 8.
Okay.
Okay. Now, back to the answer to this. This is common log of 100 equals what? Let's put an x there. So the way to solve this is to put it in exponential expression. In other words, I don't want to do this in my calculator. You could look up common log of 100 in your calculator and it'll give you the right answer. But the easy ones like this, you want to learn how to do them manually. So express that exponentially for me.
10 to the x equals 100.
Now what does x have to be?
2.
You got it. That's the way you solve log expressions. Okay? So at a bare minimum, you want to be able to go back and forth between these two formats. And that's what all the problems require, is for you to go back and forth between these two formats. Now, let me bring up some of my other students' log problems that they have given me. And this is the way most of my online students send me problems, is they take a picture of their sheet of paper, send it to my email address. I can bring it up like this.
Yeah, that was our review last night.
Ah, okay. You might be in the same class as this student.
Yeah, that was a review for our quiz today.
Okay, yeah, he mentioned he was taking a quiz today also. So let's just go through some of these. I mean, we'll just talk until you get cut off, until your computer reboots. So
it says 3 minutes.
It's 3 minutes now?
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of, is that an Apple or a?
It's a, I think it's just a, it's not an Apple, it says Lenovo.
Okay.
I have no idea what that is.
I don't know how to block that rebooting, but we won't worry about it. Let's look at number 1. Rewrite that in exponential form.
4 to the second equals 16.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, how about number 2?
3 to the fourth equals 81.
Good. Number 3?
2 to the 0 equals 1.
And remember, any number to the 0th power is equal to 1, no matter what the number. In other words, 17 to the 0th power is equal to 1. And what that means is that the log of 1, no matter the base, is always equal to 0. By definition,
Right.
the log of 1 is always equal to 0. Okay.
Right.
Now, the next 3 require you to use
Bentley.
calculator. I presume you know how to do that. What kind of calculator do you use? Is it
Just a Inspire.
an Inspire? Okay, so you know how to do logs on there. There's 2 keys. There's common log and natural log. Common log's base 10. Natural log is base E.
Okay.
Okay. Now, let's evaluate some of these without using the calculator, and try not to look at what my student had written on these because he didn't do all of these right.
Okay.
So what I do suggest students do, in other words, the problem says evaluate that. Okay? Well, it's hard to put it into an exponential expression like it is now. So let's add a variable. Let's make up the variable x is the answer to that. Now, put that in exponential format and you'll be able to solve it easily. What's the exponential format?
3 to the x equals 27.
So what's x have to be? Remember, it's always going to be a whole number, and it's always going to be a small number. So it's either 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Is it 3?
Yeah. 3 cubed is 27. Okay. Let's look at a little bit harder one. Let's look at 12. The log base 2 of 1/2. Again, I think that it's easier if you go ahead and add the variable. Let's make it equal to x and then solve for x. Even though this may not be the way your teacher teaches you to do it, in terms of understanding it, to me, this is by far the easiest. So first convert it to exponential. Did I lose you? Are you back? Hi, Emma. Looks like your computer finally rebooted. Okay. We don't need to do any more tonight. We can if you like. When your computer comes back online, I certainly have time to do more. But at least you've had an opportunity to see how my online works. Yeah, and it, like I said, it also works on a notepad if that's what you're dealing with ever. In other words, you don't have to have a PC. If you have a notepad, then you would have to get the app that would be Join GoToMeeting app, and then it works pretty much the same way, I believe. Okay. maybe, I don't know, do you want to try that tonight, or do you want to just call it an evening? What's that? Okay, all right. Well, why don't we call it a session tonight, and then we'll plan on meeting at your mom's house next Thursday at 4:30, unless I hear from you before then. And then we can talk about how you'd like to proceed. If you want to proceed online or in person, doesn't matter to me. I live close enough to you that it's only on days like today that I really don't want to go out. So it's days like today where the online tutoring is a godsend. But next week I'll plan on seeing you at your mom's house at 4:30. All right, Emma, have a good rest of your week.